What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tailgate Sports Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tanner Johnson. With me, as always, is Ricky Scott. Ricky, were you doing something?
No. Yes. What's up, everybody?
Yeah. How you been?
So good. I miss you, man.
Just so good. Yeah. Busy as always, Ricky. You've been busy. You're like talking to people, working, getting stuff done.
Just a little bit. Tiny
Jealous. Ricky's getting stuff done,
bit.
guys.
I know. I get the
Getting
FaceTime.
stuff done. Yeah. He's doing good. All right. Today, we're going to be finishing the AFC. We're going to cover the AFC East and the AFC North, going through all of them alphabetically, just Bills, etc., down to the Jets. And then, but before we get into all that, we are going to ask everyone, please show us some support by rating, commenting, subscribing on YouTube. Give us a like and a subscribe. Even comment. It helps us out a ton, and any support that is shown from you guys to us goes to directly help us and benefit the high school athletes that we're trying to help promote and cover as our company continues to grow. So any support we receive from you goes directly towards us supporting them. So, Ricky, let's jump right in. Buffalo Bills. What do you think of their offseason? What do you think of their offseason?
It's a little quiet. I like the fact that they got one of the Bosa brothers on a 1-year deal.
They did get Joey.
And they retained, Matt Milano. I don't know how to say it. Greg Rousseau. Am I right?
Yeah, Greg Rousseau.
Rousseau.
Extended him.
Terrell Bernard, Khalil Shakur, and Christian Benford.
I like the Rousseau and Benford. They did extend Josh Allen again.
Of course. Got to keep them happy.
They needed to. Signed Josh Palmer, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah, he was a big piece for I was gonna say San Diego.
Chargers.
And Chargers.
LAC.
Ugh, that's so weird for them to be out there.
Yeah. But blatant, without any description at all. I'm going to give them like A-.
A-? That was being nice.
I'll be nice, okay? Because they know what they are. They don't want any alphas as like weapons because Josh Allen is that alpha. He is everything to that offense. Their offensive line, I would have liked to improve because it's still average to below average, and they're just hoping that it maintains its average pace. They added additional depth to the defensive line with Ogunjobi, Bosa, and Michael Hoyt, even though Ogunjobi and Hoyt are going to be suspended for 6 weeks for PEDs.
Yep. Did they extend Cook?
No, not yet. They haven't extended Cook yet.
And he's not.
And I don't think they will.
He didn't show up to OTAs, did he?
It's voluntary right now. Air quotes. Air quote voluntary.
It's still nice.
It's mandatory.
It's still nice to show face.
Well, yeah. If you listen to anyone talk about like OTAs, like Kyle Long and pushing the pile, like anyone like that, it's like voluntary in air quotes. It's like it's required. You got to be there. You got to be there. There's nothing that replaces it. So, I like Christian Benford. Their defense was bad, like actively bad last year. I think they should have done something with their safeties, and they didn't. I don't think either of their safeties are good. I think they're okay to bad. They are praying on their hands and knees that Maxwell Harrison is their savior at corner. TJ Sanders is Ed Oliver, so didn't understand that. Landon Jackson, awesome, like big, physical, muscly edge, works his butt off. Some of his best tape was against the best players that he's played against, and some of his worst tape was against the worst players he's played against. So it don't really know what to think of it. Deion Walker apparently had a broken back all year because he was projected to be a first-round pick, and he got taken in the 4th. Jordan Hancock, special teamer. Jackson Hayes, special teamer. Dorian Strong. I think they're going to be hoping that Dorian Strong can potentially be the Christian Benford to Maxwell Harrison's Kyer Elam. So, because do you remember that draft? Elam was taken in the first round and Benford was in the 6th, almost identical. And Benford beat him out for the starting reps by the start of the season. Chase Lund is just offensive line depth. Caden Prather, just depth. I
still think it was nice you gave him an A-.
I am nice because they added depth because they don't really need.
But they also didn't fix what they struggled with in the
power.
playoffs.
Their pass defense?
Those corners were terrible.
That's what I said. They're hoping on their hands and knees that Dorian Strong or Maxwell Harrison is that.
I think it was their whole.
And Benford was out for the playoffs.
I mean, injuries were, played a lot of role in that, but you need to solidify.
I think they improved, but they did not do what they did not improve as much as many people thought.
And then are they going to re-sign Cook? Are they going to extend him? Is he going to accept it?
No, they're not going to pay him what he wants.
No, he wants
if he resigns. He wants to be Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. He wants to be paid just as much as Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry is the immortal King Henry. Pedestal. One of one. Okay. We'll get to this when we go to the Ravens. I got a lot to talk about with the Ravens. But
I give him a B.
A-.
A B- now?
A-. No.
Make him
I'll
be
still give him an A-. Yours is a B?
B. Put it on the screen. B.
Just because I like their draft, even though I think Sanders is redundant, Deion Walker's redundant. So they drafted smartly. They hit multiple people at the same position just as insurance.
This next team reminds me of a very, very bad bedtime story. So it makes me real tired. Can you tell me what team it is?
It's Miami.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'm going to give Miami a D-.
A D? I was going to go with a C-.
No. They get a D-.
Oh, I like it. We're downgrading you.
They have mishandled everything through this entire offseason. They have yet to accomplish anything. Tyreek Hill, I don't know if he's going to play. Jalen Waddle's constantly hurt. Tua should have retired, and he's not going to. He's whatever. That's his personal choice.
I do like what they did with their backup quarterbacks. That's about it.
Zach Wilson and
Quinn Ewers. I mean, they're better than what they had. Skylar Thompson, a bunch of dipshits.
They both are bad. they're both better than Snoop Huntley and Skylar Thompson. I'll give you that. But they
how the fuck did Huntley make the Pro Bowl 2 years ago?
Because everyone declined. You can decline. Because a lot of people decline.
So he played decent. He was a good little replica fill-in for Lamar Jackson. But I was like, okay, he's going to bring a little bit of that magic to Miami. And he looked absolutely terrible.
Oh, he looked horrible. Yeah, he looked horrible. But
I think it's just their whole team all around is health issues. Running back, receivers.
Well, okay. Okay, let's go through this. Okay, their secondary, if they trade Jalen Ramsey, will be the worst in the league. Period. Be the worst. They let Javon Holland go, who is a top 5 safety at worst. Mm-hmm. Their linebackers were okay. Their defensive line is cheeks. You got Chop Robinson. Bradley Chubb is constantly hurt. Jalen Phillips tears an Achilles or an ACL every season. He sneezes and tears something. Okay. So you're relying on Chop Robinson to be Myles Garrett, and he's not.
I mean, you root for the guy, but he can't stay healthy for shit.
No, he can't. He's good when he's healthy.
Oh, amazing.
But he can't stay healthy. Can't stay healthy. Then let's go to their offense. Okay, you got Tyreek Hill, who's just like middle fingers to everyone. I don't want to be here,
Broken
but
wrist,
I do want to be here. I'm hurt.
arrest.
I'm not. Tyreek Hill is just whatever he is. Great player, whatever he is. Okay. Then you got Waddle, who's constantly hurt, hasn't played a full season his entire career. Okay. Devon Achane, constantly hurt. Okay. Tua very well could die playing football. Like another bad concussion. Like he has had catastrophic concussions. And he's, oh, I'm fine. Okay.
As his fingers are like,
So as his fingers are T-Rex clawing on the ground.
Poor guy.
Okay. Their offensive line is probably going to be the worst offensive line in the league. Patrick Paul was bad in relief for Teron Armstead. He's now their left tackle. I did like that they signed James Daniels, but he's coming off of an ACL tear. And last year was his only great year. He was great for 4 games and then tore his ACL. Aaron Brewer was good. They're having Jonas Savanaia play the other guard spot, their second-round pick, which I don't know if that's going to work. He's a rookie. You don't know if that's going to work. And I never even remember their right tackle because he's so bad, and they extended him.
Do you think Mike McDaniels is the problem?
No, I don't think he's a problem. I think their GM is horrible, and Mike McDaniels doesn't know how to elevate his roster.
Well,
because Kyle Shanahan elevates his entire roster. Okay. But the Dolphins are so siloed into what they have to be that they can't elevate if they're not that.
I think Tyreek Hill was just on I forgot who he streamed with. I think it was Aiden Ross or one of those guys. He was talking about punching out Mike McDaniels because he was like he's like, I'm arguing in his face, telling him, get me the ball, like throw me the ball. And he just wasn't getting no touches, and he's like, I wanted to knock him out. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, how do you say that on a live stream against your coach? Show up to the facility like,
yeah. I don't know. Okay, their best part of their entire whole thing was the draft, and I get it. They couldn't take an offensive lineman because Will Campbell was gone, Membu was gone, Kelvin Banks was taken 2 picks before them.
Get the next man up, though. Next best player.
The next best guy went at 32 with a torn ACL, and he's not playing this year.
I mean, how many people have, gone in later in the draft and have been better than these people that are...
Teron Armstead. Donovan Smith. But it's just like this year's draft was kind of 4 deep at offensive tackle that fit the Dolphins scheme, and 3 of them were gone before they even had a chance to pick, and Josh Simmons is recovering from a torn ACL. So they took Kenneth Grant to replace what they lost in Christian Wilkins. Love that. Perfect. Make Zach Sealer kind of redundant. Don't love him. Jonas Savanaia, I liked the pick at the time because they're investing in their offensive line. They're showing that they're trying to build through their trenches now. Jordan Phillips, another run stuffer. Means between Grant and Phillips, they're going to have a great rush defense. And I think they're getting rid of Sealer because of this. Taking Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State in the 6th round. He's like the polar opposite running back compared to everyone else on the team. He's not breakaway speed fast. He's kind of just he's going to be their short yardage thumper.
Didn't they sign Madison? Or not? Yeah, Madison.
Recently?
Yeah, from the Raiders.
They may have. It's not pulling up for me here. So they may have. I did like that they signed Westbrook Akine.
I know, but he's gonna get
'Cause
lost in that.
He's their red zone target. He's their polar out. Him and Jonnu Smith are their red zone targets.
Yeah, but they're talking
He's
about
their
trading
polar
Johnny
opposite.
Smith to the Steelers.
Is that going to happen?
It's possible.
I don't think so.
I mean, not if they don't get a quarterback. I wouldn't want to go there.
No. But taking Quinn Ewers, I thought that was hilarious.
I think he should be the
trading.
day one backup quarterback.
They were. So Zach Wilson is obviously going to be the backup because he's like literally the only healthy quarterback on their team right now. Tua gets hurt once a year. Quinn Ewers just like spontaneously rips muscles off of himself.
He's old.
So,
Dusty.
He's old?
He's dusty.
He's not old.
He was in college for like, what, 25 years, something like that?
No. Quinn Ewers? It was 3 years.
I don't
4
know about
years.
that, brother.
No, it was 4 years.
Look it up.
Yeah, because he went his freshman year to Ohio State because Texas did not allow NIL for his freshman year. So he signed at Ohio State, like graduated early, reclassified, super weird situation. He's like, it's not about the money as he signs a Ferrari dealership sponsorship in Ohio to be the 7th quarterback on the depth chart. Season's over, immediately transfers to Texas where he was originally committed to.
That's awesome.
And is a starting quarterback since then. And he was getting better every year. I'll give Quinn Ewers that. But he was not the best quarterback on his team. So,
well, obviously.
But the draft.
You can't have Archie Manning as your backup for 2 years. And I think Texas is just a good program. They're like, okay, you know what? We're going to honor you.
Yeah.
Because they could really give him the good old. And like, you know what? Archie Manning's our guy.
Yeah. D plus. I'll change it to a D plus.
Okay. I still say C minus.
D
like
plus.
I said, very bad bedtime story. Makes you tired. Very boring.
Yeah. Not great at all. But all right, we got the New England Patriots.
What? We're skipping the JETS?
JETS Jets.
All right, we'll go to Patriots. I like it.
The Jets.
I like it. They had a great offseason.
I love the Patriots.
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
do.
Patriots
You're
fan
a
this
big
year.
May fan.
I am a Drake May, Mike Vrabel, drink the Kool-Aid
Under his
kind
shirt
of guy.
says Drake May, marry me.
Drake May. Drake May, Mike Vrabel. I'm a Mike Vrabel guy.
He is one of the players' coaches.
I am very bitter that he is not the Titans head coach.
That would have been nice.
Not that you can tell.
That would have been nice.
But free agency, they had a shit ton of money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
They spread it out.
Around.
They spread it out pretty good.
Yeah, but they paid some guys.
Like, they paid, Milton Williams was apparently like getting ready to sign the paper for the Panthers. And then his agent goes, hey, guess what? Patriots just added $10 million a year to your contract. And he ripped the paper and ran to New England.
Smart. Can't say no to clam chowder, my friend.
They took Spillane, Carlton Davis, Harold Landry.
Great pickup. Hard-nosed.
Spillane was a good pickup. Spillane is a Vrabel kind of linebacker.
That dude will put his head down for anybody.
Yeah. Juwan Bentley, Kyle Duggar were going to be his running mates. You got Morgan Moses to be your right tackle, which is awesome. Michael Onwenu as your right guard. They signed Garrett Bradbury to compete at center, but I don't think he's going to win the center job. Obviously, they signed Stephon Diggs and his whole thing. I was listening to Ari Meirov talk about Stephon Diggs' whole stupid video. And he said Diggs' contract has a couple of stipulations, where one is that's super unlikely because it's just not possible for them. Is they have a clause that says detrimental to um, uh, against the law or detrimental to the team actions are a qualification to be cut and for him to not receive any of his contract. And but that's not like there's no way to prove that he was doing the substance, the pink substance was actually drugs.
Someone said it was Pop Rocks.
Someone said it was Pop Rocks. I had it explained. The MMQB explained it. Who was it? Albert Breer. It's like some South American drug that's mixed with like ketamine and cocaine.
Damn.
So you're going low and high at the same time. And the other clause that they have is a rehab related clause to his ACL. So at any point they could say, hey, you haven't rehabbed enough, or you're not far enough along or progressing enough in your rehab, we're just going to cut you. And they don't have to pay him anymore. But reality is, I think they're going to keep him.
Well, there was talks of them cutting him.
I don't know. Because Vrabel's probably getting in his face right now about it. Like, you do one more thing like that, you're gone. And there is an out.
There is an functional out, friends. But all in all, they had a great, like you said, they had a great offseason. I give them an A.
I would too.
Just because every hole that they needed, they filled.
A lot of defense their defense wasn't bad last year. It wasn't bad, and they continued to invest in it to make sure that it didn't get worse.
I mean, what I liked about them is they went out and got their guys that they wanted, and they weren't afraid to spend the money.
Mm-hmm. And they spread it out. Like, they filled so many things so they could go into the draft and say, hey, we have one glaring need at tackle, and we'll just take it at number 4. That's fine. Although Will Campbell, my friend, my brother, you cannot be the first man to cry as soon as you go out to the draft. Because then Mason Graham comes back behind you just rocked up. Let's go sack some quarterbacks.
Which that's not going to happen.
Like, Will Campbell, man. Represent. Come on. But Will Campbell, I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's going to be ever great. I think he'll be okay. I did not like them signing Travion Henderson. Drafting Travion Henderson. If they split the backfield, because Henderson can't be a lead back. He can't. He gets hurt. And that's why Ohio State brought in Judkins. And I think they would have preferred Judkins.
What happened with Judkins
was already gone with us. They have Stevenson, but I don't think they like Stevenson.
What happened to his productivity? It's just like he went from being the guy.
Bad offensive line.
Question mark.
He isn't Derrick Henry and cannot function or sustain a run game by himself.
He got outshadowed by Gibson.
It's because he's not a pass catcher.
But it wasn't.
That's what Henderson is.
It wasn't even just that.
So
Gibson seemed more explosive.
Yeah, it's because Stevenson isn't. And so, I don't know. I would have preferred Caleb Johnson, R.J. Harvey. Shoot. I would have taken a number of different running backs instead of Henderson, specifically for the Patriots. This isn't a knock on Henderson. I love Henderson. I think Henderson is a great running back, but he cannot be a bell cow. And I think that's what they're going to try and make him do. Henderson would have been great to the Bears. Fantastic to the Bears, where he's not the bell cow. He's the Jahmyr Gibbs to a David Montgomery. 50-50 split, perfect.
Yeah,
love that nice for Henderson. But It's just this situation. Don't love for Henderson specifically. I think he helps the Patriots a ton, but I don't think it's the best spot for him. Love Kyle Williams in the third. I think he's long-term going to be their number 2 wide receiver. I think Jared Wilson, the center, is going to be their starting center to start the season. I think Braden Swinson's going to be their number 1 edge rusher by the end of the year. The 5th-round edge rusher. His underlying metrics as just a pure pass rusher, he had one of the highest pass rush win rates in the draft. And he was a 5th-round pick.
Dang.
Steal.
I agree.
So they did everything they needed to. Including, draft a long snapper.
Got to get the long snapper in there.
The All-American long snapper. But, yeah, definitely an A.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, every time I got an update on my phone about free agency, it was always New England.
Patriots.
It's like, what
Patriots,
the hell? These guys are working.
Yep.
So, yeah, good for them.
So
let's just see if they can put it together.
I think Josh McDaniels coming in as the OC again. I think they're going to have a really good offense, and Drake May is going to be probably the most physically gifted quarterback that Josh McDaniels has coached. Obviously, Tom Brady's the best quarterback he's ever coached, but physically gifted, it's going to be Drake May. All right.
On
Jets.
To the Jets. Notable players that they retained. Alan Lazard. Boom, 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 boom.
Goddamn.
Jermaine Sherwood. Isaiah Oliver.
I like Sherwood.
I mean, Lazard, you should have cut him, man.
Lazard shouldn't be there.
Because look at they signed a better route runner in Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
I mean, Lazard
is your physical slant guy.
Yeah. So let's see some of their notable losses. Devontae should have never even went there. He forced his way into an even worse situation. And that was a complete crap show. Hassan Reddick, we knew that he wasn't going to stay. A. Rogers was gone. Javon Kinlaw, Tyler Conklin.
Have you listened to Aaron Rodgers talk about the meeting with Aaron Glenn?
Oh, yeah. He's like, why the hell did you even fly me out here for this?
Power move. They flew him out to New York because what was it? Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh flew to California to beg him to sign with them.
That's awesome.
And they power moved him, brought him to New York to cut him. That was awesome. B.
Yeah.
Overall B.
I think it's strong B. What do you think about their draft?
Just because I think their draft leans into Aaron Glenn being the head coach. Because he wants to replicate Detroit.
Yeah. It's going to be
It's very clear that he does.
Very hard.
It is. And I think Detroit's going to nosedive. But best thing that Aaron Glenn did is he brought the heir to Ben Johnson with him to the Jets. Ben Johnson was grooming his passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach to become the next offensive coordinator of Detroit when he inevitably took a head coaching job. But Aaron Glenn went, nope. Snatched him up and brought him to the Jets. Membo, I think, should be a Patriot. He should have been the first tackle taken.
So you think they got a steal?
But that was a steal at 7. I think he's fantastic. And they're probably going to have a top 5 offensive line in the league. You got Olu Fashanu, who's already a top 10 pass blocking tackle. You got John Simpson, super good. Joe Tittman, super good center. Elijah Veritucker, super good. And then you got Membo at right tackle. Drafting Mason Taylor, I would have preferred an actual wide receiver over a tight end. But Mason Taylor's going to be a great fantasy tight end this year.
I mean, Justin Fields has come out
force feeds his tight ends
multiple times saying like this was heaven sent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's just going to slide in there. Perfect. He's going to fit like perfect glove.
Yeah. Azaria Thomas is Aaron Glenn, just 20 years younger, 30 years younger. Super physical. I think he's going to eventually take over as the corner opposite of Sauce Gardner. Don't understand the Arian Smith pick.
Yeah,
that makes kind of no sense. They needed
somebody to cut.
He's not making the team.
What do you think about Justin Fields and Wilson's connection? You think it's going to be fine?
I think that's the best wide receiver that Justin Fields had. Easily. I mean, he's way better than DJ Moore, and DJ Moore was a monster. Pickens is too much of a headache. Garrett Wilson is consistent.
Yeah.
Malachi Moore, loved that. That's an Aaron Glenn pick. That's a Brian Branch kind of pick, except he's not as good as Branch. And then just linebacker depth and edge depth. So biggest downside is they did not fix their defensive line really. They needed someone next to Quinnen Williams, and they didn't really bring anyone in to just help him at all.
The question is, did they fix the morale that was on that team? Because it was at an all-time low.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers being gone. Yes. Because Garrett Wilson was pissed at Aaron Rodgers and just the whole situation. Aaron Glenn is trying to be a vibes culture guy there. And Aaron Glenn's a hometown hero for the Jets. So
is Sauce Gardner going to do the little with Aaron Glenn?
No.
Handshake?
I think Sauce Gardner is going to love Aaron Glenn.
The little handshake?
Every player on the Lions defense loved Aaron Glenn.
Conklin went to the Chargers, right?
Yep.
I think that's going to be great for him.
Yeah.
Very dependable guy.
Yeah. But solid B. I mean, I don't think they could have really done anything else. Got to be optimistic. But Aaron Glenn, I don't know if he's going to be a head coach long term. But I don't know. That's just me. Because I don't know about Dan Campbell either. No. So that's besides the point. And that's a topic for another day. But solid B. What are you giving him a B as well?
I like the B. That's the first one we've come to consensus on.
Yeah. All right. Let's do the AFC North.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this one.
Doing the Baltimore Ravens to start.
Oh, I like it.
What's your thoughts on the Ravens?
I always have mixed signals about them. They don't really sign anybody I like, but I don't like their offensive scheme. So
why don't you like their offensive scheme?
Because it just makes no sense to me.
Well, their offensive scheme doesn't like you.
Do you like their offensive scheme?
Yes. That's just because you got a winning combo with Derrick Henry and Lamar. They don't need anything else.
Do you think
if they didn't throw the ball at all, it'd still be a good offense.
Do you think that they should focus a little bit more on Lamar Jackson's pocket presence and accuracy?
He's great. No.
You think he's already that guy, regardless?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's gotten better every year. This year was literally his best season in the NFL, and he didn't win MVP.
Well, they can't give it to him every year.
It would have been his third.
They're like, oh, yeah, we did that with Aaron Rodgers. We can't do that with him.
Third in 5 years.
I feel like that. Who won the MVP again?
Josh Allen.
That was
Josh Allen was runner-up all 3 times.
that was a giveaway.
Yeah, that was making up for last year. Josh Allen had the better season than Lamar, but Lamar didn't lose to any great teams, and the Bills lost to someone. Bills lost to the Ravens, didn't they? But that was why. But honestly, the Ravens are like the best franchise.
They're like the best to not do it.
They, as a franchise, process-wise, are the best franchise. They signed Deontay Johnson just to say, don't come and play in the playoffs, because when someone signs you, we're going to get a comp pick for you, because we're not going to bring you back. But signing DeAndre Hopkins, just, depth, leadership. They don't really use their wide receivers overly much outside of Flowers. Bringing back Ronnie Stanley was huge. Okay, that's a big one. Bringing him back, re-signing Derrick Henry. It's fantastic. Well, extending him, I guess.
Okay, what,
he was only going to make so has 3 years under contract. Now he's making 16 and a half a year, I believe, which is what he should be. Okay, so here's this Derrick Henry thing. All right.
Go.
Okay, let me pull up my stats. You want to talk about their draft real quick? I'm going to talk about it.
Let's talk about their key draft picks. What do you think about Malachi Starks?
Fantastic.
Mike Green? Ooh, you are a Mike Green guy.
I know. That was awesome. Off-field issues is why he went in the second round. And which was kind of weird because after Ray Rice, the Ravens were like, nope, we are not going to have anyone with any issues. And obviously Justin Tucker, his whole thing that no one can make sense of. And then they immediately draft Mike Green, who has the same problems going into his career as Justin Tucker.
I think this past year was Justin Tucker's last year anyway. He went through the little drought of, missing all these damn kicks. And, once that starts happening, they're like, all right, you're gone, guy. That's just like the thing with every team. Because how many great kickers have been out there, and then once they go through that drought of, you see them actively declining, all right, man, we got to move on, move forward.
Yeah.
I think he'll be on an NFL team next year.
Yeah, I think he will be
because he's
okay.
Is his going through? Is it just people suing him like Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, it's people suing him.
So it's just going through what do they call it?
Civil court.
Yeah, civil court.
Yeah, it's just going through civil court. So we'll see. But okay, here's my Derrick Henry thing. Okay. So Derrick Henry is currently 19th all time in career rushing yards. Okay. At 11,423 yards. After 8 seasons, that's what he's at. If he runs for 650 yards, 700 yards, just period, he is in the top 15 all time. If he replicates this year at 1,900 yards, he goes up into the top 10, passing Eric Dickerson.
Damn.
And if he has another year, just say 1,000 yards, he is into the top 5. Only behind Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders, the immortal Frank Gore, Walter Payton, and Emmitt Smith.
That's not bad company.
So he's too far, most likely, unless he is just ageless like Frank Gore was. to make it all the way to the top spot. Because Emmitt Smith is, I mean,
number one.
14 years. Yeah, Emmitt Smith ran for 18,000 yards. The next, he is almost 2,000 ahead of Walter Payton, who's in second.
Damn.
Like,
What was the time span
Frank
that
Gore's
he ran it in?
Emmitt Smith,
Yeah.
14 years.
And how long has King Henry been playing?
8.
Oh, damn.
So, obviously, like Adrian Peterson, 14 years, but he kind of didn't really play for like 3 years.
What?
Barry Sanders was for a solid 9 years. And had Barry Sanders continued to play, he would have held all the records.
All he needs to do is just keep on taking care of that body. Doesn't he say he vests like $1 million a year in his body?
It's more. It's more. Have you seen the video of him in the Titans facility doing push-ups?
It's wild.
Okay, so the elastic bands that you like do calisthenics with? So he has that stretched across a weightlifting rack. He has his feet up on a yoga ball where he is pushing up on this elastic band with a big old thick ass chain going through a 45-pound plate as he's doing push-ups.
Jesus Christ.
Just like poof, 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 pumping these out with no stability at all.
Dude's a monster, huh?
Like, it's crazy. So he's crazy. Love the Ravens.
What's your grade?
I give them a B+.
I agree. B+ it is.
I can't give them anything more. Like, their draft, Starks is awesome. Mike Green, awesome if he ever plays, because that's like a big question mark. Emory Jones is just offensive line depth. Re-signing Derrick Henry was fantastic. Bringing in DeAndre Hopkins was good. Bringing back Ronnie Stanley was fantastic. And Ronnie Stanley's getting paid less than Dan Moore Jr., so
I wonder if Zay Flowers is going to be available for week 1.
I don't know. If
Shit, is Rashee Rice going to be available for week 1?
He tore his ACL, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was it 4 or 8?
It's like a little bit over halfway of the season.
No, he's not going to be ready. If he is, he's not going to be 100%. But that's my take on the Ravens. You got anything else with the Ravens?
I just don't understand that team. They're like so great, like you said, one of the greatest franchises. But they also remind me of like the greatest team to not do it.
Yep. Which is like that playoff game. Like all the like most unlikely things happened. Like Lamar Jackson, obviously, he didn't play well. It was the worst he played all season in the first half. Then in the second half, he was the best player on the field and almost won the game. Mark Andrews, 99 out of 100 times, does not drop that ball. And it's like every back-breaking thing that could have happened in that game.
And they had pointed it out. They're like, watch, all the most bizarre shit's going to happen in this game, and that's what happened.
And they lost. It just kind of is what it is. So.
Crazy.
All right. Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals.
Before we start, are the Bengals ever going to return to their Super Bowl form?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
No. I think they're the scariest playoff team every year because you never want to play them. If you're in the AFC, you do not want to play the Bengals.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wanted to play the Bengals last year
because they can beat any team in the AFC. It's just and if they don't, it's a slugfest.
A lot of their games were dogfights last year.
Like they are gonna force everything, force you to give everything on that field, He will just not be ready for your next game. So, Bengals are like a C. I gotta just do a C
Yeah, I agree.
for the Bengals.
There's a lot going on with them right now.
Like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, keeping them both, but middle fingering Trey Hendrickson in the process.
Yeah, that was bad.
Don't love that.
The guy that's been toughing it out for you, grinding it out for you,
He's the 2-time sack leader past 2 years.
Oh, they kind of, like you
and
said.
I think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think Patrick Surtain did enough to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I don't see it. I didn't see it, but it is what it is. It's hard to dive into the politics of all the BS in the NFL.
Yep. Their offensive line is getting better. I'll give them that. Their offensive line is getting better. Orlando Brown was just – he hit his bad spectrum last year. Amarius Mims was good when he played. He just got hurt several times. Their interior was horrible. But they drafted Dylan Fairchild to try and shore that up. I love the Demetrius Knight draft pick.
Yep.
I think he's going to start for them immediately, especially because Jermaine Pratt requested a trade. But the Bengals historically are just like, you don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, true.
The Shamar Stewart draft pick made 0 sense.
They try to make it make sense.
And it just it didn't make any sense. Like that's my biggest problem with them, is that their draft was just kind of all over the place. And their defense isn't better. Like, it's not. They have proven that they can't draft on defense.
Yeah.
And so
their free agency was kind of weird as well.
Yeah.
Did they sign anybody?
They just focused on their own guys, which they signed someone. Marco Wilson, Joseph Osai, TJ Slayton, which is he wasn't great last year. BJ Hill was okay. They re-signed Gesicki, which why would you re-sign Gesicki outside of Joe Burrow bullying it into happening?
I mean, it would have been a great let Gesicki walk or whatever, and then trade for. If the Dolphins are trying to get rid of Jonnu Smith, I mean, what better of a reliable target? That dude was a fantasy monster the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of like, he was even with the Falcons, and then when he went to Miami, it was like straight up.
Even just take one in the draft. Like, all the tight ends were good this year.
Yeah, but they're a dime a dozen.
And that's my point, is you didn't have to spend that money on Gesicki. You could have drafted someone for cheaper.
I agree.
That's just my thing. It's like you could have gone cheaper and spent the money elsewhere.
Especially with
so they took Stewart at 17. So they passed Gray Zabel, who would have helped their offensive line. Jahdae Barron, who would have been their number one corner. Emeka Egbuka could have been a direct replacement to T. Higgins. Derek Harmon, who their new defensive coordinator, Al Golden from Notre Dame, built Notre Dame's defense through their corners and their defensive tackles. I would have taken Barron or Harmon instead of Stewart. Donovan Jackson, awesome. Could have taken him. James Pierce, Malachi Starks, Tyleek Williams. Like, these are just first-round guys. That's not even including the second round. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things they could have done.
So what was your grade for them?
C.
C? I'll give it a C+.
C. I don't fault the Demetrius Knight pick. I think it was fine. But again, Elijah Arroyo, tight end, could have replaced Gesicki. Nick Scorton, 2 picks later.
Skyverton.
Like, an immediate replacement. Benjamin Morrison, 4 picks later. Trey Harris, Ozzie Trapilo, like Tate Ratledge, Mike Green, Trey Hamos. Like, there is so many different people that you could have picked. So they just did not make good team decisions. So C. Let's go with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one.
What are you giving the Browns?
B-.
It's higher than I thought you would give them.
So, some key additions, re-signings. Linebacker Devin Bush, Tevon Jenkins, Malik Collins. I like Bush staying.
Uh-huh.
That's about
1 year. I like Cornelius Lucas.
Yeah.
Because he gives you insurance at left tackle. But I'm going to give them a C-.
A lot of players walked.
C-, D+.
Juan Thornhill, J-Mo, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, which is fine. He was going to get cut.
For Kenny Pickett. Yeah.
Mike Ford, James Hudson, Nick Chubb. Why would you let Nick Chubb walk? I mean,
he's coming off his second ACL tear.
He's a Cleveland guy. See what you got with him this year. Cut him. If not.
His contract was just up.
Yeah.
I think that's why he was a free agent.
I know, but you could have.
They just let him.
He gave you his body and his soul. You could have gave him a 1 year veterans minimum.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk through this. And then.
So who's their starting running back now?
Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson is going to be the Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb.
So Elijah Moore, they let him walk.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything in Cleveland.
He made some plays.
I liked him when he got drafted.
So they drafted Mason Graham.
Raw job. They traded back from 2 to take with the Jaguars to 5 and took Mason Graham.
I don't think he's going to be great.
No, I think Walter Nolan's going to be better than him.
He's showing a lot of issues. From what I've seen in OTAs, can't get off the ball. He looks lazy.
So he wins by an immediate. If he wins quick, he wins, blows up the whole play. If he doesn't, he kind of disappears. And so I would have taken Armand Member at 5. I know your defense, you want to keep your defensive strength. I get that. It's sound process. Keep a strength. Your offensive line is so bad. It's so bad. Carson Schwetzinger, don't like that. Would have taken Demetrius Knight over him. I don't think Schwetzinger is good. I think he busts. And I just not a great pick.
So you think Mason Graham's going to pan out the way they wanted to?
I think he's going to be okay.
I think he's going to be okay?
Yeah, I just think he's going to be okay. Okay. So, Schwetzinger, first pick of the second round. Jaden Higgins. Would have taken Jaden Higgins. Immediate. I would have taken Ariante Ursary to compete at left tackle. Jonas Savanaia. Luther Burden.
They're saying he's going to be a damn stud. He's looking great in Chicago.
Yeah, I think DJ Moore is going to be gone pretty soon.
And I don't think DJ Moore is going to be gone because of his skills. I think it's because of his lack of professionalism.
Yeah, he actively doesn't want to be there anymore. But Anyway, I'm getting distracted. uh,
Quarterback room's a mess.
Yeah, quarterback room's a mess. Taking Dylan Gabriel and then Shador. I think Flacco ends up starting the year, and I think at some point Shador takes over,
Well, Shador
and
didn't get
Dylan Gabriel.
no snaps with the first team at all this week.
They announced all four are evenly splitting them. So now it's going to be 2 next week.
Well, I read this week he didn't get none.
So
Well, Dylan Gabriel split the snaps with
Kenny Pickett this week, Joe Flacco and Shador next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
But then there's also rumors of him not making the team.
There's also rumors of Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco.
I mean, but that's obvious. That should be the obvious. This would be 2 cuts.
I think Flacco is coming.
One of them.
I think he's the one. If they cut someone, I think it's going to be Flacco.
They have, 5 quarterbacks right now?
Should just have the 4.
4? Pickett, Flacco.
Pickett, Flacco, Gabriel, Shador.
Okay. You think they're keeping 3?
Yeah, because there's a special rule that you're allowed to keep 3, but only 2 count as roster spots because of the whole NFC Championship. Brock Purdy rupturing his tendon in his elbow.
Not having no
Christian
quarterback.
McCaffrey playing. They had Christian McCaffrey playing quarterback for the end of that game.
Well, how many times has old boy played emergency quarterback for the Patriots?
Who?
Fucking the wide receiver. What's his name? Edelman.
It's because he could. He played quarterback in college.
Well, everybody was a quarterback at one point in their life. If it was in the backyard of their house, or if it was,
yeah. So, yeah, D plus. Yeah, I'm gonna go down.
I know you said Mason Graham's going to pan out, but I think he buzzed, man. Because just from all the reports that are coming out, he looks sloppy, he looks lazy, can't get off the ball. I mean, some of the footage I've seen of him, he looks like hot garbage.
So, all right, we got one more team.
He's not Hutchinson, I can tell you that much.
No. All right, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a D.
D. I think they're. So say they signed Aaron Rodgers or a quarterback that could actually throw the ball.
It's a D.
It would still be a D?
Yeah.
What if they trade for Captain Kirk?
D.
Damn. Come on, man. Give him at least a C.
D plus.
D plus, got it.
I'll give you a D plus for trading for Kirk.
I liked the trade for DK.
I didn't like it at all.
I hated Mason Graham re-signing. Not Mason Graham. Mason Rudolph. Sorry.
Backup quarterback.
That was stupid. He's ass. There's 10 times better.
I know. I experienced it. I experienced the Mason Rudolph.
I would much rather signed. Why am I not remembering names right now? I just had his name in my head. Your guys' old quarterback.
Tannehill?
Yeah. A full year of recovery. Letting that body, those ankles heal.
Yeah. So, okay. Metcalf, I did not like this. Okay. I did not like the Metcalf trade.
Let's hear it.
At all.
Why?
He is a older George Pickens.
Okay. He is
the 2 most penalized wide receivers in the entire league. George Pickens, DK Metcalf.
He's just emotional. He just needs therapy, brother.
Okay, I get it. Okay. You gave up significant draft pick, a second-round pick for Metcalf, and then paid him $30 million a year for an older George Pickens.
To not give him
and then you trade George Pickens, which I get it. You can't have 2 of the same guy on the team. who the hell is Aaron Rodgers going to throw the ball to? Because he can't. He does not have the arm to throw to Metcalf anymore. Tavon Austin, Roman Wilson, Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith. I don't know.
Does Aaron Rodgers play this next year?
Yes, he does. He's going to be a Steeler. They're just letting him bide his time. Whatever. They don't really care.
Do you like Darius Slay?
I like Darius Slay. That's
Kenneth
my
Gainwell?
bright spot for their. Oh, he isn't.
Juan Thornhill.
They drafted Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson's going to be, well, unless what's his face,
Warren.
Arthur Smith decides to use an off-ball running back in Caleb Johnson.
Well, they still have Warren on the roster.
He's a one and done. 1 year and he's gone. Jack Sawyer, liked that pick. Will Howard, gritty. He is a horrible quarterback, though.
Yeah, but don't you think they owe him?
Howard?
No, Warren.
No.
All those years being the number 2 and putting up way more numbers than your number 1?
It's because he can't. His body can't sustain a number 1 workload. That's the problem. Like Caleb Johnson is going to be their lead back. 60-40 at the low end. He'll be their lead back, which is perfect because he's great. I really like Caleb Johnson.
What about their
Derek
draft?
Harmon, no second round pick because that's DK. So you essentially took DK with your second round pick, and then instead of a rookie contract guy, you're spending $30 million a year on a second round pick. So Derek Harmon, I get it. Cam Hayward is super old. I get it. I get the thought process. Matthew Golden was still there.
That would have been real nice.
Matthew Golden with DK, where he's not the number 1. That would have been awesome.
But now you double DK and you shut down that whole team.
Yeah. So, I respect them not going Omari and Hampton. I think that would have been a bad decision. But Jackson Dart, James Pierce, Malachi Starks, Tyreek Williams, Josh Connerly.
Why didn't they go quarterback?
Maxwell Harrison. Like, they had needs, and they went with a position that was not a need.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, what the hell?
Like, because even then, don't trade for DK. Okay, you take Matthew Golden, George Pickens.
Ooh.
Okay, it's fine. It's good. It's not the best, but it's good. Okay, second round, they gave up pick 56. Then you could have gotten Ozzie Trapilo, Tate Ratledge, Jack Besh, Mike Green, like Shamar Turner, Omar Norman Lott, which plug and play, same guys as Derek Harmon. So
They're the same Betch as a day 1 starter.
Bradshaw,
Betch.
Besh,
Yeah. Bitch.
he would have Besh.
Bitch.
Yeah, he would have been a starter. Like Darian Porter, Ashton Gillette, Darius Alexander.
So you said D?
There is, Darius?
No, you gave them a D?
Yeah. D plus at best.
Nothing they could have did to give you a C?
Be smarter. Don't trade for DK. That set them up for failure this year. Don't trade for DK. Take a quarterback. Because Mike Tomlin has all the free reign in the world. So, you got any final thoughts on these?
Man. Not on this one. Not on this segment. This one was kind of...
It's not a lot of great.
I mean, if you guys fall asleep while listening to this because there was not a lot of great, we understand.
Yeah, It was not. None of these were great. Like I like the Ravens, but they're not anything. Patriots was great.
Yeah, that was a
Love the
good one.
Patriots. Jets was solid, but it was a lot of bad.
But that was a
A
good.
lot of
That was a
bad.
good management. Management came together and they're like, you know what, Patriots, we're gonna get out of this rut.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Tailgate Sports Podcast. Again, show us your support, like, subscribe, follow us on our social. Put the links to our socials in the descriptions of every video and every podcast, so you guys can go and check us out. And any support you show us goes directly towards us supporting student athletes here in the state of Arizona. Thank you, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.